a woman is consistently promiscuous.
Right.
Consistently promiscuous throughout her whole life.
Okay.
And every time she's promiscuous, you give me a different reason why.
All right.
The reason why she did it that time was because of X. No, the reason why she did it that time was because of X. No, we want to understand the why. There is a root cause as to why that woman is promiscuous. There is a root cause as to why you guys keep doing this. But you tried to give me, it was that for that reason, it was that for that reason, it was that for that. Nah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
No, you got to.
I don't buy it.
How do you know what that person saw when they were on the shore?
Because in your actions you showed it.
No,
I don't want to hear I don't want to hear your words. I'm looking
know,
at your actions.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
Your
your actions speaking much louder than your words.
You're telling me the psychology of Africans at that time period. How do you know that psychology?
I'm telling you in the actions that Africans took.
So what were the actions of Africans?
When you look at the actions that Europeans have taken, Arabs have taken, and Africans have taken towards one another, it shows you that there is a difference in psychology in the people. So I'm trying to understand why is your psychology so different when you see a member of another human family and you treat them this way. And Africans did not do that to Arabs, they didn't do that to Europeans. So obviously you guys are the ones with a different psychology to us.
Remind me again, when British people land in West Africa, who do they employ to go and capture slaves?
They employ the Africans.
Okay.
Yes.
But that would not be possible under your psychology.
No, but I'm saying, where's your psychology? For you to have an industry built to find a weapon or to make a weapon that is going to kill at least, we killed 50,000 with that one. Can we get 70,000? Can we get 70,000? No, can we get 90,000? Build a bigger one. Where the fuck is your head if you're doing that, bro? Maybe Yaku did it.
I have.
Maybe Yaku did it.
I've heard that we're all albinos. That's why.
Yeah, okay, you need to look at the gene flags.
The most likely story is that like you say, it evolved in Africa and then spread out. Through Russia, that was a massive land bridge that connected to
North Caucasus Mountains.
North America, then down into the and also subsection. And like you say, 10,000 years.
So people evolved in Africa.
So then why you...
The majority of evolution was done in Africa.
Okay, and how I'm trying to understand is, evolving in Africa under what conditions? What would have triggered the evolution in that? If they're in that environment, what's now going to trigger them to evolve in that same environment? So if it's sunny there, what changed?
It's known as pressures. Natural selection pressures.
So let me understand this. We're in Africa where it's sunny. Yeah? And now you're saying those people that are there, that's in the place that's sunny, now decided to evolve and change.
No. So most of them stayed there. Yeah. Very small numbers would have decided to incrementally leave further and further from home. And over generations, that would have created a feature. Then leaving
What, the environment?
No, probably overpopulation, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
Okay, so how I'm
The environment changed them.
Are you saying the environment changed them?
Sure, environment changes the individual. Yeah, why not?
Now, the reason why I say that is what would have brought on this change in the environment? Would you say? Are we saying the weather?
I'm not saying the environment's changed.
So the environment didn't change.
No.
So
the environment that people were in changed, but that's because they moved. Because they moved, their environment changed. The place. East Africa stayed the same.
Okay, hold on.
The problem is, you're trying to argue a point that you're trying to question towards an idea that you already hold. You may as well just explain the idea.
Yeah, so the reason why the reason why I'm saying is because
I've already told you what I think.
Yeah. So what people are saying is there was people in Africa, some people stayed, some people left. The ones that left over time, over 10,000 years, have now changed and we have
and become European, or modern day Europeans.
Yeah?
So with that, did the different psychology come with that?
What do you mean by psychology? Do you mean genetic psychology, or do you mean individual psychology? Do you mean group psychology or
group psychology? I would say you had a different I would say you have a different psychology.
Africa is one of the most diverse continents, if not the most diverse continent in the world. So it surprises me that you want to say that Africa has a homogeneous culture. All Africans have a member-to-member culture, and then Europeans, they have a different one.
I'm saying when you
strike me that if you were going to enter into that way of thinking that you're in, why wouldn't it be true that Africans had a diversity of cultures as well?
What I'm asking you is, when you left, you're saying you left.
You're not answering the question. You're just changing the subject.
No, I am.
You're not a politician.
I'm answering it. But what I'm trying to understand is, I'm come to my conclusion because when you left and you became modern day European, right? When you came back, your psychology was totally different to the people that were on the continent. So the people that are on the continent are like, hey, how you doing? You're like, get them, get their stuff, kill them, enslave them. And I'm like, hang on, whoa, whoa, whoa. And they're like, whoa, 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 what's going on? So your psychology obviously changed, right? Yes?
I think there were people with different psychology in Europe. Yeah, but I think there
So
were
your if you're the same people.
You haven't answered my question until you change the subject. We'll go with it. Like, look at Bantu tribes. Bantu tribes, when they acquire livestock, this is like about the years here. They acquire livestock in Egypt, and they basically speak down East Africa. Long before.
Yeah, we started south. Yeah, we started south.
I'll have to bring the evidence for you, or find it. The Bantu start in southern half of Africa. Where do they get livestock from? Where do they get livestock from?
They got it from nature?
No, they're Eurasian animals. Cows are Eurasian. Cows are
Domesticate animals.
They can't domesticate. The cows are in India, and they can't domesticate them in South Africa.
Well, that's what they tell you to play for all animals, they were already there. They were there. All the animals, all the specimens, they were there.
They weren't.
They were. They do that just to eliminate that, so that when you research, you'll be like, how come that not be? They were there. And just think about it. The whole globe was one massive land at some point.
Okay. I can't really argue. You're not really accepting something that's quite obvious. Like those cows are genetically linked to the.
It's not obvious.
I don't know where cows come from myself. I don't know. I know they produce milk, that's about it.
You'd really enjoy the book, Gun, Steel and Germs. I think it would really it wouldn't challenge your core belief. Gun, Steel and Germs, I can find the book, it wouldn't challenge it doesn't say, Europeans good, Africans bad, or anything like that. Quite the opposite. It basically says that the reason why Europeans turn up and look out their ship and say, fuck those people, as you put it, is mostly because of population density, which is mostly because Eurasia is horizontal and Africa is vertical. So when you've got seeds in the fertile crescent, you take that seed and you can plant it in Japan and you can plant it in Italy. The same seed works in the same place. The same with the animals. It's latitudinal. Africa, on the other hand, you can't do it. So when you domesticate a seed in Nigeria, you can't plant the same seed in Zimbabwe. It doesn't work.
Who said that?
Why?
According to who research?
It's longitudinal. The days are different lengths. It's more process.
That's not accurate.
I don't know enough about that.
This creates population density, which creates the need for statehood, which leads to wars.
So you're telling me that the reason why Europeans went on a bloody rampage was because of what?
Well, I said to you before, it's almost certainly like the search for resources. Now, why were they searching for resources? I think war is
I'm trying to understand the why though. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to understand why your psychology was so different from apparently the people that you came from.
It's a religious way of thinking to say there must be a why for everything. Why? Maybe it just happens.
Nah. No, but it keeps happening.
But
it keeps repeating
A
itself.
series of individuals make different choices, all which have the same outcome for different reasons.
Hang on. I think that's very convenient for you as a European to come to. It's a very convenient, conclusion to come to. No, but it's a very convenient conclusion. What I'm trying to say is, if you came from us and then you left,
I know you said this
right, and then when you came back to look at us, you had a totally different psychology, a totally different way of viewing the world, a totally different religion, a totally different everything. So obviously something changed in your head.
There's so much wrong with that question. I don't know where to start.
The
idea that we, like you said Europeans,
yes.
The idea that Portuguese and the Spanish and the French and the English all turned up with the same psychology is demonstrably false. The idea that the Africans that were taken over, that they all had the same psychology is again false. The idea that one psychology came, they
all did the same thing.
They did the same thing.
They all did. The Spanish, the Portuguese, the British, the Germans, the Dutch. They all did the same thing to Africa. Yes or no?
No, they didn't. You don't know the history.
No, I do know the history. The first people to come to Africa from Europe were the Portuguese to come to enslave, right? So they came to enslave, right? Then the Spanish came to enslave. Then the British came to enslave. Then the French.
They didn't. The English were trading. They did a whole bunch of different things. Mostly it was gold and salt to start with. It was gold from Nigeria. So they were trading gold. So they were doing totally different things. It feels like you're deliberately simplifying
Hang on.
the way that religion
Gold, hang on. Gold, coming from gold.
Gold.
So for more objects.
Salt.
Okay, more objects. Okay.
This is generalized.
No, but I'm trying to
Yes,
say
they
to
wanted
you.
nouns. Yes, I agree.
No,
They
I'm
wanted
t-
nouns.
but,
They did
but
verbs.
if we
and they
go
wanted
back
nouns.
and I said the member to object psychology, is this what's coming out now? All you guys are looking for are objects.
Right.
You're just constantly looking for objects. You're not looking for, and then you look for people, and you view people as objects also. So there's no member-to-member psychology there, because if you can look at another human being and view them as an object,
But as you know, the member-to-member
there's something
psychology
going on with your
as
psychology,
you
bro.
know, the member-to-member psychology is the in-group. They're viewing
it's to do
Africans
with their
wrongly. They're
concubus
viewing Africans
natures
as
that
the
they
outgroup.
have.
This is so simple
They're,
stuff.
no,
I
they're
can't believe I'm
viewing
doing
Africans as objects.
this. They're viewing, yes, but via viewing them as an outgroup. We have in-groups, out-groups, right?
Right, so
So if
the
they were going to
outsiders.
have,
So xenophobia.
yes, if they were going to have member-to-member psychology, they would have it with members of their own in-group, wouldn't they? Much like African tribes.
Sorry, say that again.
The member-to-member relationship that you talk about in Europeans wouldn't be displayed in their interactions with out-groups, would it?
Yes, it should be, because we did it.
Because it's an
No,
you
because
didn't. No,
Africans
you
did it.
didn't.
Yes, we did.
You
When
don't think-
Africans
you don't
saw
think-
Europeans, we didn't say, "Oh yeah, get them, get their stuff, enslave them."
Why do you think that was?
That
Oh,
wasn't
sorry,
what we
bro.
Why do you
did,
think that was?
because our psychology was different.
Okay.
Because we
You
knew
don't think it was anything
because,
to do with
hang on,
technology?
no, but we knew you were another human being, though.
You really
Even though
think-
you might have been a different
you
one,
can look into
we
the mind.
still knew you were another
You can
human
look into
being.
the mind of a 12th century
You
African
didn't
man.
know we were, or you saw us and didn't see human beings. You saw another. I don't know what
Right.
you saw.
How do you know what that person saw when they were on the shore?
Because in your actions you showed it.
No,
I don't want to
that's
hear your, I
fine.
don't want to hear your
I
words.
wanna
I'm looking
know-
at your actions.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm looking,
Actions
you know what I'm saying?
speak
I'm looking
louder
at
than
your
words.
actions speaking much louder than your words.
You're
are.
telling me the psychology of Africans at that time period. How do you know that psychology?
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, in the actions that Africans took.
So what were the
my
actions
friend,
of Africans then?
when you look at the actions that Europeans have taken, Arabs have taken, and Africans have taken towards one another, it shows you that there is a difference in psychology in the people.
how does
So
that go?
I'm trying to understand why is your psychology so different when you see a member of another human family and you
understand
treat
that.
them this
Yeah,
way.
I understand.
And Africans did not do that to Arabs, they didn't do that to Europeans. So,
who's-
obviously
so
you
who's-
guys are the
so-
ones with a
so
different
remind me
psychology
again,
to
so
us.
Remind me again, when British people land in West Africa, who do they employ to go and capture slaves?
They employed the Africans.
Okay.
Yes.
But that would not be possible under your psychology.
No, of course not. Because you find traitors and nonsense people in every group.
Because surely those
no,
people,
no.
those
Hang
people,
on, hang on.
no, because you can talk, and I've let you talk.
Go on.
Well, those people, who you're saying they've got member-to-member psychology, and they're uniquely able to see
Still
each other as a
Still
fellow
raining.
brother,
It's got stop.
then the European just turns up and they just swivel on a halfpenny, and suddenly they
No,
say
it wasn't that easy.
themselves-
It wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy. Let's look at historically. The British went to China or Hong Kong or wherever they went to, and to conquer that piece of land, they had to use people. The Americans had to use Afghanistan people to conquer Afghanistan. They had to use Iraqis. Everyone uses everyone. So you always get
these tribes,
you
these
always
tribes
get
have
a
got this
people on the
fantastic-
ground.
You've got these people. who've
Hitler
got
used the Jews
fantastic
to find
psychology.
Jews. Do you know what I
you've
mean?
got
It's like you always get people
No, you're not.
on the
That's not what you're
ground.
claiming. You're claiming that Africans have some unique psychology
No,
that's
you're
totally
looking at-
alien
no.
to Europeans.
You're looking at it wrong.
think they
There's
do.
no romanticization of a
Exactly.
homogenous psychology that I
Exactly
have
what you're
Africa.
doing.
No,
You're
it's not.
committing the sin that
Because-
racists commit, and you're saying Africa.
No.
All of Africa, it's all roughly the same, and all Africans are roughly the same.
I'm not saying that. I'm
You
saying
are.
to
I'm
you,
listening to you
in
say
the
it.
actions.
On the
In
actions
the
of the
actions.
Africans
I'm
are the
listening to
same.
your actions.
That's
I'm
true,
listening
yeah.
to your words.
In the
I'm
actions.
hearing you generalize the largest
I tell you
continent
what. I tell you why you're so against this, because
I'm not against
you
it.
are. Because it's showing what your people have done.
Yeah, they can't meet the truth.
They
can't
it's showing.
meet it.
But I'm
It's
not
holding up.
denying-
No, but it's holding a mirror up to you.
You're showing yourself to be not listening to me, because I am not denying what my people have done.
Right.
I'm questioning the why.
So am I.
So you're not listening, and I'm getting increasingly frustrated. At some stage, I'm going to have to leave this conversation.
Okay.
Because you're going to the people that you argue against week after week after week, and you're not listening. Because I'm not denying what you just said I'm denying.
So what's the why then? Let's go to the why. Because you're trying to understand the why, and so am I. That's what you just said.
Right.
So what is the why?
I think no one in their right mind is denying that Europeans turned up in Africa and exploited the continent.
Why?
No one who knows the facts. But I would say that, like many things that happen over 1,000 years, opportunities in years, there's a bunch
If you've got
of
the opportunity
different
to,
reasons.
if you've got the opportunity to steal from a baby, would you do
I'm
it?
not saying
there's a-
everyone always does it, but it's
No, but I'm saying if
Much
we've
like-
all got the opportunity to steal from a baby,
Yeah. So now
all of us have.
So let's
But
take-
But it's
I wouldn't say
why
it's the
you would
same
do it.
So
I
let's
wouldn't
take
say
something.
it's the
So let's
same
take something that you said a minute ago. In every society, there are bad people. There are bad groups.
Yes.
Now, it's no surprise. It would be no surprise, would it be, if the Europeans sent their bad people overseas to do bad things on their behalf?
Yes.
That wouldn't
We
surprise
did
you.
it to Australia.
So that would
does this Donald
suggest to me that actually
That was to get rid of them.
these Europeans, these Northern Europeans you talk about, are actually far more wide-ranging. Even though the ones who turn up on your shores may well have the psychology that you talk about, the ones who are left at home they might be the good apples that you talked about with African tribes. So
In Europe, the good apples are left in Europe. Is what you're saying?
perhaps I'm using
Touchy ground here,
Mate, that's shaky ground because the people that were back home were the ones organising the stuff that to go on and kill everyone.
So you think the entire activity of Europe for 1,000 years is exclusively focused on exploiting Africa?
No, I'm saying to you.
So
no,
let's
no,
say-
no,
so
no, no, no,
it's
no,
a
no.
tiny fraction of
I'm
what
saying
Britain's
to
up
you, for hundreds of, what's say, 400 years, okay, Europe exclusively, and Arabia for 1,500 years, exclusively
Started with the Arabs.
sent people out
Started with the Arabs.
to do this to Africa.
So just think about
the
what you
first.
just said, 'cause it's so obviously false. You must be able to see that. Britain, in that 500 years,
Yeah.
do you think when we invented the railway system, do you think we did that to exploit Africa?
No.
No. Okay. So
That was a byproduct of you being able to-
So we can agree that
we can use
Europeans.
a lot of labour.
Because you use a lot of
We can
labour.
agree that Europeans were exploiting Africa. We can agree that Europeans were exploiting Africa.
Right.
The idea that they were exclusively exploiting Africa is absurd. Right? It's absurd.
No, they were exploiting Africa to better their own country.
Fine. They weren't exclusively exploiting Africa.
What do you mean? Just
You use the
that's
word.
all they were doing. No, that's not all they were
You
doing.
use the word.
Sorry, I
They were
apologize.
African-headed
They weren't- That's
workers.
not all they were doing. That's not all they were doing.
Exploiting anyone that they could.
Anyone they could, yeah. That's more like
Not just Africa.
mean,
They
they
went
didn't have
to India
anything.
too.
Yeah,
Went to, went all around the world.
South Africa got,
The
South America
Britain
got
owned
involved.
33% of the world's landmass at one point. You realise that's a third of the whole
You're
globe.
not listening to me. You keep coming in with these arguments that you use against people who have views that I don't have.
Why
You're
did
saying
they
that.
do
Of course
this?
I know that.
Why?
I told you because of various different reasons. It's like when religious people come here and they say, why is a tree like that? And it's like a bunch of different reasons. And they're like, tell me one. It's like, there isn't. There's a bunch.
Do you know what? Do you know what you're doing?
fair point.
No, do you know what you're doing?
Why?
Do you know what you're doing? I'll tell you
I'm sure
what
you're gonna
you're
tell
doing. A woman is consistently promiscuous.
Right.
Consistently promiscuous throughout her whole life.
Okay.
And every time she's promiscuous, you give me a different reason why.
Alright.
The reason why she did it that time was because of X. No, the reason why she did it that time was because of X. No, we want to understand the why. There is a root cause as to why that woman is promiscuous. There is a root cause as to why you guys keep doing this. But you tried to give me, it was that for that reason, it was that for that reason, it was that for, nah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
No, you got to.
I don't buy it.
No, you got to.
I
I'll
don't
tell you
buy
what I
it.
think it was, technological advancement. The Europeans were the first people to build the best boats, so they were able
Who
to...
said that?
I'm gonna let you go there. I think you
Who
can't.
said that?
I don't
They were
buy
the
your
first
argument.
people
They
to
were the
That's
first
why I
people
like
to
You
get
can't
to
really
the
think
boats.
I
You're
don't
talking
buy
about
it.
boats.
the best boats to get...
I do
That's
believe
because
that.
you're reading from the European
Everything has a root
perspective.
cause.
So,
That's you
I'm
reading
saying, I'm trying to understand your root
Which
cause.
Africans or Asians came to Europe first?
You know the name Noah.
I'm asking which African or Asian built a boat...
I'm trying to understand your root cause. That's what I'm trying to
Okay, I'm gonna give you a clue.
Many causes.
Research monsoon winds. African were trading with the
I'm not
Far
there
East
yet, but
way
I'm trying
before
to
any
understand it.
Europeans.
Yeah, but Africa's right next to
Each
it.
their own.
Yeah,
They
what
were
I'm saying
trading.
is the
They were
Europeans...
using the winds.
the European-
Africa were building boats
The
to go
Europeans were
to
the
the
first
Far
to
East
build, the Europeans
and
were,
vice versa.
The Europeans were the first to build the boats that were capable of going far and away enough to discover new land.
No, I don't think that's accurate. That's not
Alright, fair
accurate.
enough.
That's
They
not
think-
accurate. That's
The
because we read
Olmec
it from their
civilizations have
perspective.
come from West Africa, so I don't know.
That's because we read it from their
He's a wannabe
perspective.
politician, that
We
Yeah, I
got
think he's a
European
good
books.
I've seen him
He is a good politician, but you know what? He's really smart as well.
He's a smart fella, but
Smart, sharp
you
guy.
know the thing about conquering Hong Kong, China. We didn't use people to do that.
Who'd you use?
We used cocaine.
Oh, you just
Opium. The opium wars.
doped them up.
We just took it over there and handed it out.
Yeah, doped them up.
And then,
I think they got them
and
involved
then
in
they handed it
fighting
over
with
to
Japan,
us.
innit? They were like,
They just
Japan
handed it
gonna
over
get
Yeah,
to
but
us.
what I'm
They're
trying
like,
to say is,
Japan's gonna
Not me,
overthrow-
not me, though,
overthrow
not
you.
me.
if you have that, all I'm saying is,
I never done it.
if consistently these people keep doing something, I'm gonna ask myself why. I'm just gonna.
Exactly.
I'm
You have
like,
a
why
good
do you
point.
guys
You have a
keep
good
doing it?
point.
But it's
Like,
the
why
same-
is that woman consistently
It's the same
promiscuous?
question as why
Why?
do Jewish people hold all the money?
Huh?
It's the same question
I
as
don't
why
buy it, though.
why do
It's a
Jewish people
psychological
always
reason.
hold all the money? It's the same question as why do Jewish people always hold all the money?
Yeah, there's a root though.
There's
Why?
a root. There's a root because they
But
got the
you're scared to say it.
Yeah, but they-
Don't be scared to say it.
They have the
That's what
opportunity to
I'm
say
saying.
it.
Don't be scared
They
to
have
say
the
it.
opportunity to do it, and then that way in time.
Right.
But ain't black people exploiting
See-
black
see?
people in
Not
Africa?
all of them. but-
Ain't black people exploiting black people in Africa?
They are now, yeah.
Well, they never done it before the white man came along.
No, I'm not saying that.
What?
I'm not saying that. But I said it's a different psychology. You see, people talk
didn't
about
have the need to
Africans
do
and
it
Africans.
until the white man
People
came
say
in.
that. And then we have to ask ourselves, when you talk about
It
slavery,
also became a fundamental aspect of society.
the Arabs and the British slavery, or the Arab and European slavery,
No one designed
even
to
though
put them in that position.
I have you as a
No one-
prisoner,
yeah, but no one thought.
it's a different.
Fair
You're
enough.
still a
When you
human
say
being.
nature, I mean, from
I don't
birth,
take away your name. I don't take away your culture. I don't take away your humanity after we have wars. But I'm talking about the type of slavery that went on when the Europeans and Arabs in Africa. They started taking people's penises. With Africans, you took a man's penis off, you raped his wife, you watched him, and you made him watch you rape his wife, all that kind of stuff. It's like, that's a different.
Sold the children.
Yeah, and so that's a different type of thing, mate.
So hang on, where are we going with this?
Well, he's gone.
Yeah.
We were going somewhere, but he's gone.
Well, he's over there. Look, where are we going with it? Because
So I'm trying to understand why. I'm trying to understand why are Europeans and Arabs consistently like this? Why?
greed, isn't it? Greed.
So, all right. So why are you
Greed.
greedy? So see that when you said when you said greed, I said there's a reason why you're greedy. Because if you've got everything,
Oh, you're not going down this what white people are evil, are you?
no. If you've got everything, what's the
that
what?
they're evil.
No, that's progress. That's progress. The more you want, That's progress. You can't stop
No,
it.
but in whose psychology though?
No, in everyone's, in yours as well.
Nah.
Look at your jacket. Look at your jacket. Look at your jacket. You've got a lovely jacket.
Yeah, but why?
18 months time.
I'm now a product
no.
of the same psychology.
Yeah, but
Because I live here, I'm a product of the same
in 18
psychology.
months time, someone else is going to come along with
There's
another
only one
jacket,
psychology.
and you're going to want that jacket as well.
Yes,
It's
because
progress.
I am now a product of the same psychology that I was raised in.
That's right.
But I'm saying this psychology
no, that's-
had
no, that's
it
always-
started somewhere.
That's gone from day one. That's gone from day one. Adam and Eve. I don't like to use religious things, but Adam and Eve, you know, the apple, have the apple, go on.
Yeah, but
all
that's
that
a
old
pure
bollocks, you
concept,
know.
Adam and Eve.
Everyone done it,
believe
and
in
everyone will do it.
It is.
Forever.
It's a Middle Eastern concept.
Black people, white people,
whatever.
Arabs.
But they,
I'm not saying there isn't Jews in every society.
Jews, fucking
I don't believe in
Muslims.
it.
But
We always
I'm not
believe
saying
It might even
that
be an
there
African
isn't
concept.
greed in every society. I'm not saying that.
To be honest,
But I'm saying it seems to me
we don't believe in
that
Adam
other
and Eve. That's
sections
a
of the
new
human
view.
society do it much worse than other sections. Who does war better than Europe?
What?
Who does war better than Europeans?
Yeah, but that's technology though, isn't it?
No, but I'm saying, where's your psychology? For you to have an industry built to
Hang on.
find a weapon or to make a weapon that is going to kill at least, we killed 50,000 with that one. Can we get 70,000? Can we get 70,000?
That's not exactly-
Ah, no. Can we get 90,000? Build a bigger one.
That's not fair.
Where the fuck is your head if you're doing that, bro?
You were warring in Africa.
Where the fuck?
You were warring in Africa before.
The only reason why you do
People
that.
are always warring.
Exactly.
But you're trying to do it on a level where I'm
that's
gonna
technology.
get an atom. We find the atom. What do we do with it? Oh, not we.
Yeah,
What do we do
but-
with it?
sorry, what you-
Yeah, let's
what
build a
you have to
bomb.
understand, yeah.
Fuck it, let's
Wait,
kill them
wait,
all. What the fuck is wrong with you? You couldn't use it to do something else. You wanted to use it to build a bomb.
There's an evil nature in you.
No, for black men,
You have it as
evil
well. You have it as well.
I don't buy it.
You can't deny it.
I don't buy
You
it.
can't deny that every group of people are capable of the same atrocity.
Yes, I agree. I
the
agree.
only thing on the
But
menu.
why have a certain people rose to the top
The way that
to
history
do
played
it?
out, the way that technology, intelligence, intellect, all these things played out.
There's a book called The Iceman Inheritance, right? By a man called Michael Bradley. I implore everyone to read that book.
It's called
Because it shows you why this certain section of humanity has risen to they are superior in one thing: aggression.
Yeah,
More than any other people.
yeah,
There's no one that's aggressive.
yeah.
I met some pussy ass.
No, I'm not talking about general aggression. I'm talking about psychological aggression.
Yeah.
There's no one on this earth
Yeah.
as psychologically aggressive as what they call Eurasians. No one.
Eurasians.
Eurasians.
What are they?
Encompassing Arabs and
What about
Europeans.
Maori? They're pretty violent.
Yeah, but no, look. No, the thing is,
It's the Neanderthal in you guys. It's the
Neanderthal
Neanderthal, I'm telling
is in
you.
not in you guys. We're all
It's the
guys.
Neanderthal in you.
No, in you as
It's
well.
the Neanderthal in
You
you.
are the same as me.
No.
In fact,
I'm not the same as you.
You're
are.
closer to the Neanderthal because
No,
we
no,
evolved
no, no,
after.
no,
Adam and Eve.
When you look at your blood, you got about what 7 to 10% Neanderthal in your blood.
We didn't come from.
Adam and Eve.
I don't know where you lot came
You
from.
are African.
Adam and Eve.
I don't know where you came from. I'm not gonna lie.
Adam
You
and
guys
Eve.
could have come from the sky for all I know. I don't know where you came from.
No, we did.
Well, there is an argument.
You
for that,
guys
but that's-
did.
Yeah, exactly. You could have come from the sky. I don't know if we came from the same place.
No, we didn't.
When you see them
That's the
religious
point.
pictures when they got the thing
all
over
came
their
from the
nuts
same
like that, you know, the big halos, that does worry me that, hang on, the story's got lost here a little bit.
I don't know. The more I
That's
study,
to show
the more I
that we
study
some
Europeans, the more I
beings.
wonder
That's
if
what
we're the
we
same
are.
species.
You have
Yeah,
to be.
we know.
I don't know, mate.
How is it possible? Where the two separate lineages come from?
I don't know. I'm not saying we are. I'm saying when I look, I'm just think to myself, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Like there's a big gap there. I don't know.
No, there's not a big
and
gap.
what's
No, no,
annoying,
there's-
and if we go by that rule, what's annoying is that, because I'm at the very bottom of the white tree, right? Which makes me like you, and that's really annoying to me.
No, it
'cause
don't make you like me.
it does,
Because you can walk in
because-
certain places at the bottom of the white tree that I couldn't walk in.
Yeah, and there's
and get a
plenty of
different
places
look.
I can't walk.
No.
Listen,
I'm
I
telling you,
promise
the bottom of the white tree
I
is
know
higher than the bottom of
every
the,
part
is
this
higher than the
country,
black
and
tree.
there are places in this country I cannot go where a black man can go.
Like where?
Like, South London, I'll
Peckham High
take it,
Street.
come with me.
Peckham
Wait,
High
wait,
Street.
Mate,
yeah.
I'm
come
joking.
on.
No, yes, no, you're right.
Let me tell you something.
Peckham right.
You don't understand that most black people are religious. Most of them are religious. And if a white man walks in their presence, they see God. Subconsciously, they see God.
Yeah, there is that
So there's a
connection,
lot of
definitely.
places that you can walk
But
in where black people
clearing
are
that up now.
that you can
When
do.
the sun's
clearing that
gone
up.
But
down,
wait a minute,
You don't
that
understand
doesn't
that.
apply to a
when
lot
the
of
sun's
communities.
gone
That
down, you
doesn't
walk
occur.
through some of
There's a
them
lot
houses in
communities
the
where
States in
people don't
South
equate
London,
white
you're going to
people
get
with
ripped to
white. There's a
pieces
lot of
as a white man.
But white supremacy is global, so when white people step on a piece of land, generally, they get treated differently.
Nah,
I wouldn't call
Yeah,
it white
I'd say
supremacy.
completely
I'd call it
global,
white
but the most of the
supremacy.
majority of the
Not
place,
supremacy.
That's
I've
not
seen
right.
white people step in India and India's like,
I think sorry,
I've
to
seen
be
white
honest-
people step in Africa,
No,
then people are like,
fair enough. You know, I totally agree with you. You've got your history correct. You
It's
can't
like-
argue with that. But what I would say is, though,
That's why you can go to Spain and say, does anyone there speak? But you're in Spain.
Sorry, don't you
I'm
think,
not saying you, but
Sorry, don't you think there's a possibility though? Then it could just be a matter of coincidence and circumstance that enabled certain groups of people in history to establish themselves in positions where they were able to, had the opportunity and the desire to oppress others, which is what you could say
yeah,
about
but
every
then,
situation.
but then you can look at ancient
and the
societies.
consistency of them.
But if you look at,
doing it the more and
let's
more.
look at the most glorious society of old, Egypt. It had every opportunity to try and conquer the globe.
Holy Kemet.
But he didn't. He didn't choose to.
Yeah, but
He didn't choose to go, you know what, we're going to get that place, that one, and we're going to bring it up. They didn't choose to do
how much do
that.
they know about
They
it?
conquered the world with a book, with knowledge, no guns.
Yeah, they could give you let's build a library with all of our knowledge. All right, they were knowledgeable people, but they didn't necessarily want to go and
Seems like
conquer
they
the
were
whole
more
world.
intellectual rather than.
They were more intellectual.
Yeah, they were more
That's what the
intellectual.
pyramid is.
Way more
You
advanced
saw how they
than
built a bloody
people
pyramid.
today.
They were more
They had an
intellectual
intellect.
and less, say, down to earth, rough and tumble. They were more interested in abstract and
Concepts.
and ideas.
But you can see that when you look at their
yeah,
writings.
definitely.
I mean, that's not to say they never had wars,
Yeah, but that's just giving you an example of one group that didn't attempt to.
but they could have.
Well, we don't know that they could have.
No, but they could have.
We don't know that.
They were the most glorious. They had no
Like
one.
we say,
No one was like that.
Glorious in intellect, glorious in their specific field. They didn't have a massive army. They didn't have massive technology. And,
They didn't have massive technology.
They did
war
technology.
war
Mate,
machines.
technology to build that pyramid, we still don't even bloody know what
Yeah,
it is.
you
It's
don't.
not that difficult.
It's not that difficult.
You go and tell the
The only
scientists,
thing
man,
that's
'cause
difficult.
They gave
the only
the
thing that's difficult is
Japanese
we don't
an
understand how
area
they
to
did
build a
it
pyramid. They
with
couldn't.
Just physical
The
manpower.
tools that they use.
Physical manpower. All it means is they did have some tricks that we don't haven't worked out
Give
yet.
me some tricks.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean.
It got tricks
No,
of the
like the logs under the
had the
things, all
knowledge.
these types of things. Thousands of men literally giving their lives from birth to death. You can achieve a hell of a lot of shit like that. The mathematicians, the mathematical.
Anyway,
side,
look, I'm
it's
going
not
to change the
difficult at
channel,
all.
alright?
Yeah, change the channel, change the channel. it's all right.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Going to go over here. I've heard of Donald
Go
Trump
on,
over here.
piss them off a bit, innit?
There are a lot of unanswered questions. There are a lot of unanswered questions.
And this is why I like you the most, is because you know what you're talking about.
saying that there's a relationship between
Of
Yeah,
how much
there's-
you can and can't,
yeah,
like definite
exactly.
and absolute and no
There's a relationship
of what I
between
can see
them.
from here,
They
this
are
example, that
centers of
example.
energy.
And if I don't know, I'm going to tell you that I
And
don't.
you know what? It's a very convincing different story.
You know,
But then again, if you were to, for example, be interested in Islam,
It's like a
you could get
one-
someone to give
one
you a very
big
convincing
grid
story of that.
of energy
And
that passed
that in
through
itself isn't really enough.
No, it's not. That's why you got to be a free thinker, though.
Yeah. But as time goes on, you constantly change your views little by little.
like the so-called
That's how you gain wisdom.
That's intellectual honesty.
It's how you gain. People are scared to gain wisdom. They're like, no, I'm set for this for life. That's it, and
No,
I'm not going anywhere else.
I used to work in primary school, yeah. A child would write a sentence down with 18 mistakes in it, and you're saying, you've got to write that again. He'll be like, no, I can't, it took me 8 minutes to write that. And you'll be thinking, yeah, but this is the process. You have to, you have to go through that to identify the mistakes and then better it. This is what people intellectually won't do. That I used to think this for so many years, and it made sense, and now I found out something new. Oh, no, then I have to throw this all away. No, you don't have to throw it away. No, you don't have to throw it away. You just have to better it, improve it, modify it.
But that's why if you say to a religious person, is there anything that I can bring to you that will make you change your mind? They'll be like, no. Like, so why the hell are you having a conversation?
Because they've already decided they know the whole truth about the universe without a question. And that is dangerous.
Very.
Someone thinks they know everything.
This is too much agreeing.
Oh, fuck you, man.
We need some conflict. We need some conflict.
Nah, you chatting shit now. You chatting shit now.
We need some challenges, man.
No, it's true.
Yeah, but no, that to and fro of being challenged is the only way to make progress.
It's exactly.
Only way.
Exactly.
It's
Is
like
it
when
right
I
to say that your environment shaped your behavior?
To a large extent, yes.
everyone's done.
Maybe that's why the Europeans have that sort of behavior.
Maybe
Because
that's
the
a good
environment
argument.
is
In
not
that,
conducive
in that
to
rough,
life.
cold.
So you can
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, all right,
That's what I was saying.
Gabriel was saying that as well. Gabriel was saying that as well.
People, academics think that the Industrial Revolution should have started in China. Right. And why didn't it? Because the emperor at the time, I don't remember his name, he unified the provinces. So there was no conflict, there was no
Mao
competition.
Zedong or something.
But in Europe, Europe wasn't united. There were so many different countries, and they were all in competition with each other. It's all about
And they all
Competition bred.
Yeah, propels.
Like the arms race.
Propels.
This is why the Industrial Revolution happened in Europe, because there was no unity. There was no one
They were
ruler.
competing
There
with
were many
They were
rulers.
competing with each
Like the
other.
race to the moon.
Yeah. And so the technology came up, the Industrial Revolution came up, Africa got exploited.
Plus the wars, let's not forget, the wars make the European bigger as well.
And war drives technology. That's when they start putting money towards
Oh, yes.
science.
So the psychology is competition.
Well, it's fair.
Could that be it? I mean,
The psychology, but where did the psychology of competition? But this is what I was saying about the axiology. The competition. When you go back to a cold, harsh environment, like we were just saying, when there's not much of anything, but there's a lot of people, competition is the order of the day. Because if everyone wants a food, if a deer bounds through this park right now, and everyone's got the same thing, I'm going for it. I want it. It's mine, right? So if it's yours, competition, it breeds competition. How are you going to be the one to catch that deer when it comes around? Oh, I've got to do it better, because when we tried to do the spear didn't work. But he just made a trap. Oh, that was easier. So that was the environment in which you were born into, or which you were grown in.
Yeah, but wouldn't
Whereas we didn't necessarily have to have what they call a psychology that was constantly, because everyone's in abundance.
The point is, it was the same for African people originally anyway, because they were in the same environment, in the savannas and the jungles, fighting off lions.
Yeah, but it was
and
abundant.
tigers. And when they
we're
came
abundant.
communities, they managed to ward off the dangers by insulating themselves. And the Europeans that spread to Eurasia and everywhere, they done the same thing. Once they developed a community, they warded off the dangers and insulated survival.
I don't say it's competition.
But they're more xenophobic.
I don't say it's competition. I say it's technology.
Meaning that if someone sets in society, they're like,
Well, it's not through
Wouldn't we have been
competition.
like that in Africa anyway?
Technology
from the
is just to
beginning?
make something more efficient,
survival,
an
way to
efficient
survive.
way. And then yes,
I don't want to superimpose
then
the same
it
psychology onto
turns
everyone.
into kind of competition.
I believe
where,
that. I believe
we need to
different
make a better
psychologies
technology,
develop their different,
you know, in that kind of sense.
different ways depending on the environment.
environment has a lot to do with your family's
No, but what we generally do is that we superimpose our psychology onto ancient people. Do you know what I mean?
Well, definitely,
That's when
technology
no, but I'm
of
saying, those
communication,
people may not necessarily be like
technology
that.
of fire.
Because we look at their environment and their behaviours, they're not
Technology in
behaving, they weren't
Africa,
behaving the same way.
which made, say, like Ghana great, they had communication through drums. You know,
I'm trying to find out.
with the Zulus, they made,
I'm trying to find out.
they had like short spears, and they ran without those sandals, which made them more swifter, and they had different techniques with longer shields.
That's how they are.
Yeah.
To see more videos like this, subscribe to Titans TV down below. Thanks.
Calling Django. Who me? The greatest darky that bite with shark teeth and hate malarkey. Who you? The greatest heartbeat. Ancient Egypt as a matriarchy. Who me? The one with the S on his chest when the motherfucker go by. Who you? The one everybody calls your highness cause the weed got you feeling so high.